The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Morning Market Kickoff with your host, Tommy O'Brien. Now, Tommy O'Brien.
Good Wednesday morning, everybody. I'm Tommy O'Brien, coming to you live from TFNN. We pick things up. We got a little bit soft CPI, inflation. Inflation not coming in just yet. The argument can be made that it's lagging, but it's not here yet. We got inflation numbers weak, and on that, you have a market trading higher. S&P's up by 11, and we have given up almost 20 points from that high. We're trading at 6,056 right now. You see the acceleration on 830 at a higher price. NASDAQ 100, we're up by 59 points right now. 22,022. You were up to above 22,100. We backed off a bit. Dow up by 40 points. You see the acceleration to 43,200 on the dot, just like that. Oh, sorry about that. My mic was having some problems. Thanks to the producer. Thanks, Al. Dow up by 41. Russell up by 12. That'll be a little better. Bitcoin, 110,000. Chopping around right where we were yesterday. 110,075 right now. How about crude? Catching a bid. $66.27 for the price of crude right now. And on the weak inflation numbers, what do we got? We got higher price, lower yield. We got dollar weakness right now. All right, we got the 10-year yield. 4.44 is where we're sitting at, 4.44. Now you were coming back to about 4.5, so we've dropped a bit with the 10-year on lower yields, on lower inflation numbers. Your dollar spikes to 98.60. We're trading at 98.82 right now. And you jump over to gold. Now, what's interesting is, right, gold, you get a bid, but you give it all back. Dollar's got some weakness. Yield's got some weakness. Gold can't catch a bid. This should be an environment where gold catches a bid right now. Okay? Lower inflation numbers leading to the Fed being able to cut. Okay, which leads to lower yields, which leads to less demand for U.S. dollars, which leads to a weaker U.S. dollar, which leads to a stronger gold price priced in weaker U.S. dollars, and it's not there. Now, we still haven't broke the levels in terms of this low out here we're chopping around at, but we have weaker dollar this morning, and gold can't catch a bid. All right, so pay attention to that one as gold. And there's nothing wrong with gold on a longer-term basis. We're just bumping up against an area of resistance, man. Gold's been on fire. We're pushing 33, 34, 3,500 right now. And we're in a period where we're just bumping up against it. Silver, down by 15 pennies, 36.49 right now for silver. All right, let's look at some of the numbers. And we kick it off. Core inflation rises less than forecast for fourth month is the headline number out there, and there's the numbers to pay attention to, all right? CPI, 0.1 versus 0.2. Core, that's the number they really want to watch. Now, they watch the PCE. I'm going to talk to that in a second. They care more about the PCE than they do the CPI, okay, because of the way that the distributions are, the weightings. But nonetheless, core CPI, only 0.1%. Market was looking for 0.3. CPI year over year comes in line, and core CPI year over year comes in at 2.8. They were looking for 2.9. So core is soft, period. End of sentence, okay? You got treasuries rallying, as we talked about. Now, what is interesting is seeing where we're chopping around. And I'll pull it up after this first break. Yeah, this is the one as well. Yeah, the overall headline, gas dropped 2.6%. So that's helping the overall, of course. Now, here's the difference between, because shelter, that's the part I was trying to find here. Shelter was higher, up by 0.3%. I think it was the biggest driver. Let me find if it was in here, I believe. All right, I'll pull it up after the break. But shelter was a rise. All right. A lot of data to go through this morning, but here's the kicker, and this would be an even better case, okay? This is the case that if you think that, man, those numbers are weak, but the PCE might be even weaker, okay? We just got the CPI. Here's the CPI on the left. Let me blow it up and make it a little bigger. Here's CPI on the left. PCE is what the Fed actually prefers because that's a better representation of what they can actually control and how they like to look at inflation in terms of the weightings, the yellow is the biggest component of CPI, which is housing, which is 32% of the CPI. It's only 15% of the PCE. You know what's a much bigger factor of the PCE? Healthcare. Because consumers, many times, get their healthcare off of a worker-sponsored plan. So they're not actually paying for it on the consumer angle. They are paying for it, though, because it's a consumption that they're using that's getting paid for somewhere when inflation factors in. But nonetheless, if in housing is what is driving these numbers higher, then boy, I can't wait to see what core PCE looks like, because it's going to be even better, folks. All right? That's the point there. It's going to be even better when you look at if you come in for core PCE, if this is the number you're talking about right here. And yeah, we got some dollar weakness on that number. Now, getting back to Bloomberg. I think this is the one I was going to talk about. Here we go. Perfect. Once again, shelter was the biggest driver of inflation, up by 0.3%. So keep in mind, if shelter's the biggest driver right now, listen, people watching goods, okay? When you talk about tariffs, inflation, lag, shelter was the biggest driver. That's not going to transfer over to PCE at all if that's what keeps happening. On CPI and on our own pocketbooks, yes, it will matter. But not just yet. Energy index is lower, down 1%. Let's see, furniture and bedding was down. Apparel prices are down, falling 0.4%. And the only case to make is that there's going to be a lag when the inflation, when the tariffs kick in. So, airline fares, demand, and this is where the numbers always get interesting, right? It's like, okay, if we have economic uncertainty, you have people they don't want to travel. We've seen downturns in international arrivals to the U.S. as well. Airline fares down by 2.7%. Smartphones down by 1.6%. Restaurant prices are up. Food away from home category up by 0.3%. The smallest rise, though, since January. And yeah, we basically get to fast forward and see if any of that comes through the data as we go forward. You jump over to Apple shares, catching a bid with the market today. We got China news as well out there, of course, but the tariff, I keep calling it tariffs. Inflation data, tariff data, pretty much one and the same right now. Inflation, tariff data, nonetheless, comes in soft. That's what the market's reacting to this morning. We have a little bit of China news, of course, but China news is light on details, man. Yeah, we supposedly have this great deal that needs to be approved by Trump and Xi, and listen, communication, just ratcheting down the tensions. Let me fix that. There we go. Just ratcheting down the tensions is one thing that could help. Pretty light on the details. But hey, nonetheless, you get that as well. Apple shares going to be up by about $1. Amazon shares up, we were up to $219. We give it up, actually. We're flat on Amazon. Microsoft shares flat as well. All right, some of these equities, look at the give back right now we have in the leaders, right? Amazon gives back the gains. Microsoft gives back the gains. Not NVIDIA. NVIDIA likes that news, up to 145 right now. We jump to the chips. AMD up by $1 to 124 right now. Warner Brothers catches a bid yesterday. We're up by 10 pennies. Disney's been on a tear. Look at that run yesterday, right? Disney up to 119. Markets in the green. Stay tuned, folks. We're coming right back.
If you're looking for potential trading setups in the stock market, then Rocket Equities and Options Report is a newsletter you should try. Tommy O'Brien delivers options and equity trades when the markets present them, using a combination of fundamentals and technicals. Sign up for Rocket Equities and Options Report today with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. For all the details and to start your subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento, a pro's pro with over 50 years of experience. Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
Building wealth trading in the stock market seems impossible to most people. They think it's too volatile and risky. Most people aren't going to take the time to educate themselves on how to do it right. But you're not most people, are you? At TFNN, you'll get the guidance you need to refine your strategies and techniques to invest like a pro. Because you'll be a pro. All TFNN subscriptions, books, software, and courses are available at TFNN.com. And I'm even going to tell you how to get them for less. Use TFNN's Tiger Dollars and you'll get up to a 20% bonus on your purchase. And once you apply them to your account, Tiger Dollars are automatically used for all future or recurring charges. Tiger Dollars also never expire, are fully transferable, and are a great way to add savings to your newsletters or services. Become the investor you were born to be at TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
TFNN has launched the Tiger's Den, hosted at Discord. TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
This portion of the Morning Market Kickoff is brought to you by Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the direction. Visit Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Welcome back, folks. We got Tesla shares up by $9 in the pre-market. With this market, Tesla, some volatility off the lows. And yeah, Tesla, June 22nd, 11 days from right now. Tentative launch date. I love how everything gets to tentative, 11 days out. Tesla, super paranoid about safety. I think he's onto that. This is how it's going to be a PR battle. I've been talking about it, man. The unfortunate part is there's going to be tragedies that ensue. The roads are dangerous, and you're going to need somebody to navigate that with trust and confidence. I'm interested to see how Elon navigates that. But nonetheless, they're coming. They were aiming to begin them on June 12th, but guess what? Today's June 11th, so they're backing it up. But nonetheless, this isn't 2 years, it's 11 days, so they're coming, and they're coming to Austin. Mortgage applications. Now, borrowing costs just below 7%. Okay, refinancing climbed 15.6% in the week. Refinancing, you know what's happening right now, folks? It's remarkable, but we're getting into the area that we are now over 5 years since COVID hit, right? We're 5 years past when rates were at zero. You have home purchase applications advancing 10.3, refinancing 15.6. The mortgage rate's currently just under 7, 6.93%. Now we're dropping today, okay? Mortgage rates dropping today, yields dropping today, dollar weakness today. And what's happening is we're approaching the point that nobody who is going to refinance a home in the next, 24 months, 36 months, 48 months after they refinanced or purchased a home. We're now at 5 or 6 years. People have tremendous amount of equity in their homes from the rise up over that period of time. And rates are at a period where we're not like waiting for 4.5 or 5% to come back. I think a lot of us are saying, you know what, we're at a rate right now. This might be the new normal. A 10-year rate of 4.5%. That seems normal. You adjust an interest rate on a 30-year mortgage above that. That seems normal. And at some point, you're going to have to access that equity. It's there, and people need to access it, and it's happening. All right, we talk gold. How about it? Gold passes the euro as the second reserve asset as central banks buy. Now, U.S. dollar, 46%. This is global central bank reserves. Gold, 20%. Other currencies at 18%, and the euro winds it down at 16%. Okay, but yeah, that is quite a run, man. And you're talking about a number that this is the bullion held by the world central banks. Be careful at these levels in gold right now, folks, okay? Doesn't mean it can't go to 4,000, all right? But boy, you're approaching some risky levels where the run that we've had on a short-term basis and a little bit of consolidation right now, a lot of the optimism in gold right now, folks, already. All right, we talk a little crude. Come on, cooperate. I got too many tabs up this morning. I was up early looking at everything, watching the China, watching the CPI, of course, at 8:30. Is my computer freezing up? Uh-oh. All right, we'll jump around. Yeah, it's my computer's struggling a little bit. All right, hopefully you have me, Al. My computer's not working. Yeah, if you can let me know if you got me. Uh-oh, I might need a restart. There we go. We're catching up. Come on. Apologies, folks. I might have to do a quick restart at the next break. Uh-oh. Yeah, I got freezing all over the place right now. All right, and if you can hear me, right, you know what's remarkable about this is I have a beautiful computer at home. It's basically a gaming computer for home office, okay? And I bought this right before COVID, basically. I'm not even sure if you can hear me right now. Uh-oh. I think I'm going to need a restart here, Al. Oh, what a bummer. Yeah, I can't do anything. My computer's completely froze up. I'm going to need to restart if you're hearing me, Al. All right, I'm just going to do it. Oh, you're going to break? Perfect. You can't hear me. I can't see a single thing. Okay. I was just going to text. Yeah, my computer's completely frozen, folks. I'm going to do a hard restart. Al, play some ads for me, and I'll be coming back right around 3 minutes from right now. We'll just take our break early, and then we'll go all the way through the open. All right?
This year has already been a wild ride for the market. We started off heavily in the red, traversed back to all-time highs, and we now have a trade war looming. Trying to play this chop as an individual trader leads to death by 1,000 cuts. Where does this market go next? Should I add to this position or cut my losses? Where is the next opportunity? Tariffs? Trade wars? Analysis paralysis. Don't become a victim of this intense market. Instead, join Larry Pesavento for the second and fourth Friday of every month for 3 hours of live trading. Larry has been through many markets just like this one, and the insight he provides is invaluable. The dates for this month are April 11th and 25th, 9 a.m. to noon Eastern Time. Get in here and let's start trading. TFNN, educating investors.
If you spend any time online researching trading techniques on how to begin your trading journey, you've no doubt come across many folks who push Forex trading as a way to make big money quickly. Unfortunately, there are equally as many stories of these so-called Forex professionals just looking to make a quick buck off aspiring traders without actually teaching the ins and outs of the Forex market. This is what sets Teddy Keckstack's The Tiger Forex Report off the riffraff. Every Monday, former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member and author Teddy Keckstack releases his Tiger Forex Report newsletter, where he dives into the complex world of Forex and takes time to actually teach you his methods that have made him so successful in the fast-paced and rewarding world of Forex trading. Furthermore, all subscribers receive access to archived live streams of Teddy's, where he provides university-level education to help you in Forex trading. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So what are you waiting for? Forex awaits.
Steve. The reality is that navigating financial markets can be risky. Markets can be chaotic and difficult to understand. Having the latest market advice can help you turn this chaos into a key for creating winning trades. At TFNN, we understand that it can be hard to find reliable market news. The reality is that navigating financial markets can be risky. Markets can be chaotic and difficult to understand. Having the latest market advice can help you turn this chaos into a key for creating winning trades. At TFNN, we understand that it can be hard to find reliable market news. That's why each of our market experts offers their very own market newsletter. A must-have tool for every trader out there striving to find an edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets so you can analyze the market before you trade. Try any of our great newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Just visit the Newsletters tab on the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN. Educating investors.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
All right, folks, thanks so much. And yeah, computer's working a lot better. We got markets open right now, and we got the S&Ps. We opened by 8 points, but we've given back some of those gains. We're 22 points off of the highs at 6,074, but green across the board on a soft CPI print this morning. Then we get PPI tomorrow. Won't be as important as this CPI number, though. NASDAQ 100 up by 55 points, Dow up by 4, Russell up by 6, Bitcoin 110,000 hanging up there. You're checking on yields. Higher price, lower yield. We're talking about a 10-year right now at about 4.44. And with lighter yields, we got dollar weakness, but the dollar bouncing as well. We're right back to where we were, within about 10 cents of where we were at 5:30 this morning. We're right back to where we were at about 10 a.m. yesterday, so nothing too huge, but that was quite a reaction on that CPI print. Market always worried right now about those inflation numbers with tariffs, taxes, and the likes. Dow rolling over a bit, off by 43 this morning. So yeah, we jump over to Tesla. Tesla's coming out with their robo-taxis in the next couple weeks in Austin. We'll see how that one shakes out. We jump over to some of the others. Apple shares this morning up by 0.2%. Microsoft flat, gives back some of the gains. Amazon up by 0.1% right now. Nvidia up by about 0.5%. AMD up by 0.7%. All right, we jump around to some of the other headlines in the morning. Yeah, you talk about AI, man. Robot delivery startup, $80 million. It's coming, man. The world is changing right now. I was reading an article this weekend about flying taxis. Flying taxis. It would make sense. You look at drones, right? We see all this drone warfare. Flying taxis are coming. We're going to have automated taxis. At the same time, we're going to have flying taxis. And here's what I found myself thinking about last night. I'll see if I can find this article I was talking about that I was reading. It may actually be easier to have flying taxis than it is to have self-driving cars. When you think about the obstacles that need to be in place, right? Now there's weather, there's things that go into it. There's the fact that if you have an accident in the air, it's catastrophic immediately, right? But it is interesting when you look at things on a two-dimensional plane, which is what driving on roads are, right? You're either going forward, backward, or you're going left or right. You can't go the third dimension, okay, which is altitude, we'll call it, right? In planes, you have a third dimension that you can go to. Well, what that allows you is that allows a whole other area where, and that's why planes, you try and stay on different, whatever it is. I don't know. And but you can see how, if you can do self-driving cars, why can't you do self-flying cars? Why can't you do it? It's almost easier. You think about everything on the roads. You think about pedestrians walking by. You think about a dog running through the road, right? You think about trees. You think about all the different types of obstacles that you can encompass over all the different types of terrain that you reach on every road in every part of the universe, right? That's not the case when flying. When flying, yeah, what's going to happen when you're in clouds? But you're going to have radar. There's a million things, so it's coming, man. Yes, but nonetheless, you got robotics, and this is the easiest one of all. Amazon's been using robotics in their warehouses for a decade plus, okay? But yeah, Coco Robotics, it's going to use those new funds. 10,000 robots in operation by the end of the year. They're going to roll out the robots in major cities. And yeah, that's how you're going to be getting everything, folks. Robot deliveries. Imagine, right? It's going to be robot self-driving cars, robot deliveries. And it's happening much quicker and that's why I talk about the flying taxis, right? It's happening right now, folks, which is crazy. All right, we talk a little bit of China. Very tough to believe. And listen, tensions easing, that's all you need, okay? But it usually takes more than 2 days to iron out a multilateral trade deal, okay? President says full magnets and unnecessary rare earths. Now, this basically reiterates kind of what they did in Switzerland. Yeah, tariffs will stay at the levels agreed to in the deal signed in Switzerland, okay? The U.S. would set a total of 55% tariffs, a reference to the 30% tariffs applied in his second term, added to duties imposed during the first term, okay? They agreed in principle. Now, that's great. They got to go to Trump and Xi, and then you got to abide by it, right? And then tensions don't got to flare up. And what if they do? Are you doing business in China right now, right? Are you waking up this morning if you're a business person in China? Now, listen, if you have to do business in China, and if you have supply chains in China, yeah, you're waking up and you're saying, man, this is phenomenal, okay? But the level of uncertainty that things could change in a, 24-hour period still exists to some degree. Yeah, we talk a little bit on NVIDIA. Now, quantum computing. This one will make your mind bend, okay? Is set to take off, and systems rapidly becoming more robust, higher performance, more resilient. This is Bill Huang? Jensen Huang. I was saying Bill Huang. Where did I get that one? Oh, that's the other. I know that one. What's interesting here is that Jensen Huang, he's talked about that he's pushed back on quantum computing, right? When Google came out and talked about their quantum computing, okay, he pushed back on how it's not there yet, because guess what? Yeah, it's going to be a competition at some point, okay? It is. We'll see what happens. All right, we talk a little bit of real estate. New York apartment hunters, they're no longer going to have to pay fees charged by their landlord's real estate agents, right? Now, this one is, folks. A new city law eliminates an upfront moving expense that added thousands to the cost of signing a new lease for many. Landlords are determined to find another way, though, okay, to shoulder those fees, including rolling them into the rent. Well, that's what you can do. You can roll them into the rent. But when you roll them into the rent, that's the headline number, right? They like to add them on the side. Even so, tenant advocates hail the law as a victory for the city's renters. When added to the first month's rent and security deposit, broker fees made the average amount due at signing $13,000. $13,000 to rent an apartment. I thought people rented apartments because they don't have a down payment. Now, $13,000 is not a down payment, okay? But my goodness, and folks, I run into it here in Tampa and in Florida, right? Imagine you're renting a house, okay? Nowadays, man, you're approaching houses are easily $3,000 for a month, okay? $2,900, beautiful St. Pete, call it $2,500 a month, okay? That's you do first, last, and security alone. A lot of people don't have $8-9 just sitting around. And so what does happen is, if you're renting, okay, folks, always do a background check, number one, okay? You can charge people for that. I encourage you, if you're renting a place out, okay, one of the good pieces of feedback is you'll get 1 million people that will come to you and go, yeah, I'm really interested in this rental property. Housing's a little bit different when you're buying it, okay? You got a buyer in there, that's a little bit different. Renters, you're trying to find a spot. It's not a full-time commitment. You say, yeah, I'm interested. I'd like to fill out an application, right? You'll get in a lot of applications where they might not follow through. So I encourage you to pass off that part of things. The $75, you're going to charge them for a background, which you should always do, okay? And we'll finish this up on the other side of that, because you don't always need last month's rent in there. Depending on what you're dealing with, and if you do a background check, you can give yourself some leeway. I'll be right back.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
For traders who crave risk, Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs provide opportunities to magnify short-term perspectives with up to 3 times a daily leverage, utilize bull and bear funds from both sides of the trade, and trade through rapidly changing markets. These are highly leveraged ETFs with daily resetting designed for short-term trading, not long-term investing. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the Direxion. For up-to-date pricing and performance, go to Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at direction.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC. Are you ready to take charge of your financial future? TFNN is your gateway to the world of trading and investing. Whether you're starting out or scaling up, TFNN empowers traders and investors of all skill levels with top-notch investing systems, strategies, and techniques. It's time to protect and grow your money with insight you can trust. Join us live Monday through Friday during market hours for exclusive content that moves with the markets. At TFNN, we bring the trading floor to you. Our seasoned hosts are here to answer your calls and questions live on the air. Check out the Tiger's Den for just $1 and follow us on YouTube and become part of our vibrant community. And remember, at TFNN, we're so confident in the value we provide that we offer a 30-day money-back guarantee on all new premium newsletter subscriptions and services. You have absolutely nothing to risk, so why wait? Tune in live to Tiger TV and transform your trading journey, because when you know better, you invest better. Join us and experience the difference today. TFNN, educating investors.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
Welcome back, folks. We got markets in the positive, but single digits hanging on to those gains barely. And I believe this is the car. Is this the car? Vertical Aerospace. The car. Listen to me. This is not the car, folks. This is the flying taxi company that I'm going to talk about. And listen, I have no idea this company. Do not go out and buy this company, okay? You look at this chart. Well, you were at 276. Whoever's on the PR team at this company, they deserve a raise, man. You got yourself a Wall Street Journal article, and guess what? That's what the acceleration looks like, getting a Wall Street Journal article from $5 up to $6. And it should, because listen, I'm talking about it. We're talking about it. And meme stocks made him a fortune. Now he's betting on flying taxis. Jason Mudrick. Jetson-like future is going to be here, but here's the kicker. Guess when it's coming, folks? It's coming. Come on. 2028. Where's the number? That's the number. They're coming in 2028. Now, this guy's a Harvard Law graduate, former investment banker. He started a hedge fund in 2009 with $5 million at 34 years old. And his firm's managed has soared to $3.2 billion. Not bad. $5 million in 2009, and you're up to $3.2 billion. And in 2021 is when you started going into, and it's 20, they expect vertical takeoffs, folks, in 2000. I'll get it. It's got to be right at the top of the article, and I missed it. 2000, there it is, yeah. Vertical Aerospace, again, do not buy this company. I don't know what this company is doing, but just thinking about the dynamics, and I appreciate the feedback in the den. It's happening, okay? Electric vertical takeoff and landing aircraft to market by 2028. Now, this could be a deal like the Tesla, where you bring them to market. Elon says in 2 years it's coming, and then in 5 or 6. It could, because the details are going to matter, okay? But check out the details of this thing. Quieter, safer, and cheaper to operate than its conventional counterpart. Carries up to 6 passengers and their suitcases. It can go about 100 miles. The cost per mile, this is the best part, where I said, what? And it is going to be that of an Uber Black. And that's like getting a black car, a limo service, right? A town car, something like that. You're talking about it, man. Think about it. It's the same per mile, and you're flying. Think about how much you're paying less. And folks, if you have the ability to pay to get your time back, boy, that's one of the things that you can't ever get back, folks. And then you can use it, and maybe you can use it to make even more than you're paying for it. That's one of those things that, great leaders. Now, this company's raised $90 million in January. All right. But yeah, you look at this chart, there's been a lot of money lost in this chart in the same way, all right? From $15, and maybe that's when they got that funding, I would guess, maybe, right? They got the funding, maybe they had some earnings, maybe that's when they got the funding in January. But this equity is a story of buy the rumor, sell the news so far. And oh my goodness, what was happening back there? Be careful of this one, okay? So they got a Wall Street Journal piece. Don't be buying this equity just yet. There's nothing technically on this chart that says it's a buy at all, as you're even giving up some of those gains from the Wall Street Journal piece. But yeah, you better believe it's coming, man. Pretty remarkable. 2028. Folks, this can be 2026 in 6 months, right? 7 months. Man, remarkable. All right, what else we got going on here? Oh, back to real estate for a moment, okay? I was going to finish this conversation up, and then I went to finding that article. So here's what I'll tell when you're looking at places, right? And you can do this on the other side of that when you're a renter as well, and especially when this comes to places like Florida, okay? In Florida, folks, you give somebody a rent or vacate, and they got to be out. Now, they got to pay their rent in like 3 days. Now, yes, there's complexities that can arise. They can challenge that in court, okay? But if it's a simple case, they're out. I know that's not always the case in states like Massachusetts, New York, right? I get it, believe me. In that case, you might be better off with a first month, last month security deposit type situation. But if you're in a state where you can kick somebody out pretty quickly if they're not paying their rent, which you should be able to do, I encourage you where, you say first, last security required. But then you say, and really I'm saying a background check, which is important, but really it's a credit check, okay? And you run a credit check, and if somebody's got good credit, folks, okay, they got good credit, they're making good income, you don't have to be that worried. And I encourage you that if somebody's struggling, right, like I got a duplex in Tampa, you got two great young couples, and I'm renting that out at $21.95 a side, okay, $21.95 a side, and what's always interesting is the headline rent number is always what matters, because in my duplex in Tampa, everything is split for electric, right? It's its own metered location, so they have their own electric account, their own utility, of course, but the water is not split. So what happens is when it's not split, you can either charge them a fixed cost, okay, or you can include it in the rent. And so I just include water in the rent. But here's what happens is, nobody ever recognizes the actual value you're getting outside of it. So I say to somebody, right, let's say right now, and this is when you're including the rent in Florida, folks. You're including the water in Florida when you have to water your lawn. Okay, so water bills can be $200, $300, $400. Easy when you're talking about watering a lawn. A month, this is. So let's just say the water bill is $300 a month, okay, because that's 2 units in a duplex. And that comes with the watering the lawn. So you're using 1 unit, 2 unit, plus the lawn that gets watered. Let's say it's $300 a month. So let's say that's $150 per a side of that duplex. Nobody recognizes the value as in, if I said, hey, I'm including this $150 in your rent right now. So what I'm going to do is, it's the same thing as basically saying, what I'm going to do is you're getting that value, okay? This is akin to basically you're getting a place not at $21.95, you're getting it at $2,050, because realistically you should be paying for your utilities, right? That's not how people think. The headline number, it's just the way it works, man, okay? The headline number, right? You want to pass off those utilities to the clients because they never recognize the same amount of value in their head for some reason. It's all about the headline rent number. And what's interesting here is, so you go again where they're going to do away with the fees, and yeah, they'll have a difficult time jacking up the headline rent because for some reason, okay, sales matter, headlines matter. There's a reason why we all get gorged with fees, okay? But yeah, $13,000 to rent an apartment in New York. Now, I'll tell you where the other one goes, okay? And this is what I wanted to get to in Florida. So I currently rent out in Lakeland right now, okay? And where I rent, okay, they tried to take over all the utilities, and then they wanted a utility company to manage those utilities and bill them back to me with a fee. Man, I've been screaming at them for like 2 months. First of all, it's an absolute mess. Second of all, you're dealing with an extra way that they're just trying to get you out for fees. But listen to the way people get just preyed upon, okay? So I have a company that manages my rental, and what happens is that they wanted to basically manage all the utilities. Well, what ends up happening, folks? I'm paying, water bills for should be $80 out here, okay? $70, $80, small water bill. By the time they add up the fees, okay, it's $9 a month of the fee. It's $13 here. They're gorging me with like a 30 or 40% raise on what our utility bill would be. So these, and you know what happens, folks, is you're in a spot sometimes, and thankfully I'm okay and stick up for myself. People are in a bad spot and they can't stick up. We'll come back, we'll talk some stocks, folks. Stay tuned.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
The reality is that navigating financial markets can be risky. Markets can be chaotic and difficult to understand. Having the latest market advice can help you turn this chaos into a key for creating winning trades. At TFNN, we understand that it can be hard to find reliable market news. That's why each of our market experts offers their very own market newsletter, a must-have tool for every trader out there striving to find an edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets so you can analyze the market before you trade. Try any of our great newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Just visit the Newsletters tab on the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
Welcome back, folks. S&P's up by single digits right now, up by 5 points, but a little bit of a get back on that opening bell, right? Selling on that opening bell. Going to be an important day. You take a look at the price and volume in this S&P market. And as I was talking about, so Monday's day, lowest volume day of the year so far. But yesterday's day, nothing too exciting, right? Just kind of along the lower doldrums. So you're talking about 1.03 million contracts on the S&P. That's a pretty low day when you look at wherever you are. Volume getting a little light up here, and we got some volatility. You jump over to the VIX. Speaking of volatility, how about 1654? Yeah. Volatility getting sucked out of the market as we pass an important economic data reading of that CPI data. Indeed. All right, we talk a little bit of deficit. I'm going to post this one in the Tiger's Den, folks. You're not in the Tiger's Den, get in there. All right, this one's an interesting one from the Journal, and just talking about some of these debt numbers. And yeah, Can't believe it's 45 years ago. Can't believe it. Born in 1980. The debt, 25% of the GDP. Now, what's so remarkable, all right? You got a lot going on here. Okay, of course, we had inflation raging. Then you had massive tax cuts. The debt goes up to 50%. We pull it back and kaboom. It's not stopping, man. We're at 100%. And yeah, you talk about the gap between the revenue and the spending. These are just bananas numbers, okay? And they're going to keep going up with the new tax cuts. Unless we get growth that we've never seen before, which is always possible, okay? Might as well disclaimer that because that's what's the pushback. But it's probably going to add trillions of dollars in deficit that we don't have right now. Treasuries issued, yeah, they talk about notes and bonds, they talk about bills, and they talk about the ones that are retiring, okay? Treasuries outstanding, it's a great piece. We got to get into this debt. Now, everybody seems to think we're paying attention to it, but I don't know, man. Seems like it's just going up and going up and going up. All right, folks, this market is going up, going up, going up. S&P's up by 6, NASDAQ 100 up by 21, Dow up by 68, Russell up by 6 this morning. Stay tuned, folks. Basil Chapman, he's in the Tiger's Den. He's getting ready for that Tiger Technicians Hour. He's coming up live next. Don't forget to check out his opening call newsletter, folks. Basil does a great service every single day out there for his subscribers. Have a great day, folks. We'll see you at 3 o'clock.